Well. A fine mess you've gotten us into now, Ollie. What was that? Not, uh, not the puppet people, but the Laurel and Hardy. That's what it is, Laurel and Hardy. Yeah, comics, sort of like Abbott and Costello. That's my generation. I know you young folks won't know about that. But a couple of things to talk about is one, how billionaires are able to get grants for middle class people. In other words, there's a lot of grants now that are just on income, based on income, and billionaires are able to figure out how they could still be billionaires and not get a wage. So if they don't have a wage, that's not income. See, they're getting money from somewhere else. And a lot of these programs will check your income, and the IRS has that data. So if you put a tax return and you have no income, but you have capital gains and all that, that's not counted as income. See, that's why I think we're missing so much. The rich people get out of it again, but they're also getting grants for poor people or middle class, things like that. Like in the, during the COVID, those things, there were 18 billionaires and another 250 ultra wealthy people. So that's, I guess, millionaires or something like that. So ultra rich people were getting stimulus checks from the government of $2,400 because they had no wages. They were making millions other ways, but not in wages. Yeah, that's why I think it, to me anyway, it always, I sort of like having a business because I'm learning how to create income in case I need income. The business sort of is able to create income. And that is very attractive for me, so I don't have to rely on anybody else for my income. And it's me, and plus you can keep growing it. And in this country, see, billionaires live off their businesses. They don't need money. If you have a business, everything is business expense. You think Donald Trump's jet is a business? He's not paying money for it. Well, he got one free from Egypt or somebody, or Qatar. Well, that's a different thing. But if he went out and buy a jet, he'd get it with business money. He would buy it for business money and use it for personal too. Now he's supposed to only write off the part that's business, but they usually don't do that. And that's the same way with lunches, same way with a car. Your business is in your house, so that's part of a business expense. You could write out your house, your rent, or whatever you're doing with that. And they're taxed, so you pay it with before tax money, not after tax money. So if you're paying 30% taxes, so that's a lot of money. So you could take your, say your rent is $1,500 a month, okay? And a third of your house you use for business. Well, you could take $500 of that and write that off as a business expense, okay? So you don't have to get after-tax dollars to pay that. See, if that was before tax dollars, so you'd have to make $1,000, pay taxes on $1,000, which is maybe $300. So you're left with $700, and then you'd have to pay $500 for rent. But if you pay $500 for rent first, see, after you pay $500 from $700, you only have $200 left. But if you take out $500 from the $1,000, you have $500 left. So that's why a business expense is that's why every fat cat has businesses and assets tied up in things that don't create wages. They don't make wages at all. You and I do wage things. Fat cats don't. And here, so the IRS records reveal that 18 billionaires and 250 other wealthy people received aid intended to help the middle-class Americans, okay? Remember the COVID stuff? That's what they were getting. So because they said if you made less than $75,000 a year or $150,000 a year of income, wages, see, that's all they were looking at. So these people are making $1 billion a year, millions of dollars a year, but it's not wages. So they were getting checks for $2,400. I think George Soros got it, but he gave it back. A lot of people didn't. They also found 270 taxpayer disclosed 5.7 billion in income according to their previous tax return, but who were able to deploy deductions such as massive scale. At such a massive scale, they qualified for the stimulus check. So these are people who made, millions and millions and millions of dollars in one year, but the next year, no, they didn't. So they got their stimulus check. But they just got $500 million the year before. That's why the tax system is crazy. But what I see it is, it behooves you, because you could write off so many more things as a business expense. If you travel, you want to go to Hawaii. Well, if your main purpose of going to Hawaii is to look for a client or something like that, then you could write off the plane fare and everything, and that's a business expense, okay? But if you stay an extra day, then you have to pay, you can't write off that extra day at the hotel, but you can write off everything else. So that's why it's you go out to lunch with people, you travel, all this kind of stuff. It's the best tax advantage in the country. And the rich people use the hell out of it, so that's why it's not going to go away, because they're too powerful of a lobby. The poor people don't have a good lobby. That's it. So they get stuck with the bill, and that's too bad. And what really bothers me is that wages for poor people are going, or middle class people, wages are not going up at all for the last 50 years. But the country's income is going up, and it's all going to the top people and not the rest. And that's why you have to learn this system. And not that you're going to start a business or anything, but to try to understand why you have a problem like you do with money. You can't pay living expenses because living expenses went up 300%. But the average salary, not average salary, 90% of the salaries in this country only went up 30% in the last 50 years. 30%, that's it. But inflation, that means cost of living expenses, they went up 300%. So your wages for 90% of the people went up 30%. Your cost of living went up 300%. And the cost of living, like food, transportation, housing, things like that, they're the basic things you have to pay for. Millionaires don't care. That's a small fraction. For most people, that could be half the salary, 3/4 of their money goes to those kinds of basic living expenses. And if those expenses are raising because of inflation, but your wages are not, then you're going to get hurt, and hurt badly. And that's why people, I think, are mad, because they're not part of the system anymore. They're getting pushed and pushed out. And it's the upper class that has taken all the marbles. And it's whether it's wealth, whether it's income, whether it's anything, and then that's too bad. But there is a system here, what I call the community. The community is government information, and the community is government and nonprofit. They have money to help you with problems, okay? And when you have a problem, most people don't think of that. They go to Google. And you can't go to Google because Google wants your money. Everything in Google is about getting money for entrepreneurs or businesses or whatever. You don't have money, so you can't go to Google. You have to use the 40% of our economy. 60% of our economy is Google. That's what capitalism is, Google. And that's 60% of our economy. 40% of our economy is people helping people. And that's what you have to find. If you're a rich kid, then you don't have to. You could pay for everything you need. If you can't pay for everything you need, you have to find the community economy. The community economy, as I call it, that's the 40% of nonprofit organizations and government government offices. So government offices and nonprofit organization, that's the community that we all live in and we all contribute to. And we decide we're going to spend the money to help people. 40% of that is there to help people. So whether it's education or health care or getting back on your feet, paying for that you don't get thrown out of your apartment or house or things like that. All those things. You need daycare money. We need so many things. And that's what I'm trying to do, is teach people about that part of our economy. Because the rich people know it. Look, Soros and all these billionaires are using these programs. And you're eligible too for so much more you don't know about. And the one thing you have to know about is this. Oh, that's Let's Go Help. Yes, you should know about that. But that was, yeah, that's us. That's what we do, is teach people about the giving economy and all the money that's available for you. And it's $20 a month, and we have unlimited one-on-one help for you to apply to every grant you're eligible for. So I meant to get this one out. Here's the one. So if you're not familiar with this stuff, oh, is that backwards or not? Yeah, that's backwards, right? You need the other one, right? How's that, okay? Okay, findhelp.org. Now, this is a place to start learning about the other economy. Okay, this findhelp.org has 750,000 programs. No, actually 600,000. 600,000 programs in findhelp.org to help you pay for almost anything you need in living expenses. This is where you should start. And it's not only starting there, this is where you have to call. I don't know how to say this more. I know people don't like to. When I started working like this, 50 years ago or whatever, it was hard for me to get on the phone and call people out of the blue. But you have to do that. If you don't do that, you're really going to be stuck where you are, because that's where the good stuff is. You have to learn how to call people and call for help. It's a natural instinct in all of us to want to help each other. If you're a human, your instinct is to help other humans. And when you help other humans, you realize how fun that feels. I mean, this is why I do this work at 82 years old. I'm still doing this, and I hope to do it 10 more years, because it feels so good to help people, okay? And so all our members, we have 15,000 members now, that all they do is help other members, okay? And find out about new programs, to do this, and how to go through that, how to make sure that you're calling people. What do you have to do? What do you have to say? See, this is something new. So if you haven't done it before, it's gonna be a little frightening. That's okay. It's sort of like you're getting up to hit a baseball for the first time, or get on your bicycle for the first time, and you're afraid you're gonna fall. And that you have to do. Otherwise, you're not gonna grow, and you're not gonna get out of the situation you're in. You have to do something proactive, not wait for a savior, somebody with a magic bullet. There's no magic bullet. You have the magic bullet. The help is out there. You just have to take the effort to find what's right for you. See, some is right for other people, some that's right for you. It's sort of like dating. How many idiots did you have to go out with before you found the right one? Yeah, or still haven't. I hope. Boy, my eyes see the glory of the coming of the Lord. Let me see if I can see what some of this is. But please start calling. Always call. Call people, go to that Find Help. Put in your keyword, whatever it is, and just call people under that keyword. Even though they're not for you, that's okay. You call them, because they're helping people like you. So they're helping people like you with that kind of situation, whether it's paying your bills for debt, or paying your rent bill, or your mortgage bill, or your utilities bill. They help people. They may not help you because you don't fit into that category, okay? I used to be a member but didn't benefit from anything. Well, you have to do something. You know, that's the important thing. If you're not doing anything, you have to ask questions too. You can't just sit and look at the websites and fill out an application. That's not going to do it. You know, you have to do more than that. I want to do a Zoom meeting for low income, where to start a business. It's scary when you're just starting to learn what you can get help. Yes, and then once you start getting help, wow, then you open a whole new world. I mean, this is what I used to do, and I didn't know about that either. And then I found I was able to do it because I was helping millionaires, and they were paying me a lot of money to find this stuff. I said, Jesus, but I just did it. If I could do it, anybody could do it. You know? I mean, I never did well in traditional things. I flunked out of a lot of schools, or been kicked out, or barely got into college, barely got out of college, and just started doing stuff. And I see when I do stuff, the feedback is the most important thing you can get. Don't believe what you believe, because life is different than what you think it is. And you have to go out and investigate it. Help is out there. I mean, if there's, I always show you that chart about 40%. Here's that chart. Yeah. This is, how 40% of everything in our country, that's this side of our economy. This side of the economy is capitalism. That's Google. This side of our economy, 40% of it, gives out money for free. Free money, free services. Come and get it. That's all. But they're not advertising. You can't find them in Google. They're not coming to knock on your door. And your neighbor doesn't know about them either, or even the smartest people you know. They don't, because they're hidden and they're a little difficult. But boy, you're in trouble. You have to do something. And it's your responsibility to yourself to try something. It's not going to be magic. You're not going to make one phone call and solve all your problems. It's going to take a bunch of phone calls and a bunch of work. And that's why, to me, we're able to do Let's Go Help for only $20 a month, because it may take some time for you to do that. If you expect to pay $20 and get a check by next Thursday, that's not going to help. People have done it, but don't count on it, because you're going to stop if it doesn't happen. And if you stop, that's the only sin in life. There's no sin about doing anything when you're trying to get help. The only sin is stopping, because you don't really know the work. Nobody knows ahead of time what exactly works. You have to work with that, because it's different for everybody. We're all different people, and there's so many, 600,000 programs. Wow. So you have to get in there, and it's very easy. I mean, and 600,000 is nothing, because if you went to Google, you will get 300 billion. So, and that's what, and only thing you're going to run into if you call anybody there, they're all going to want money from you. See, on these 600,000, they all want to give money to you, but you have to be eligible for their program. So you have to find out which ones you're eligible for. That's why another reason to call. You don't want to just willy-nilly and fill out applications to stuff. No. You don't want to do that at all. You want to call people, see if they solve your problem with their service or organization, and if they do, are you eligible? And if you're not, then you ask them, where else do you think I could go to get help for this? Okay, so that's what you have to do, and you have to keep doing that over and over again. And look at the stuff that is there. Now, here's a list. Yeah, I think that I have a free report here that I'll send you. You could download it. Tiny URL. Let's see, it's tiny TINY URL.com /Lesco 100K. Yeah, that's it. Okay. So for this one, tinyurl.com /Lesco 100K. Okay, let's go 100K. Okay, here, maybe you heard me talk about these earlier once before. $500,000 grant to get into the cannabis business. $500,000 that the government's given you to start a business in the cannabis. So it's not in every state. You have to find out what's in your state. Here's another one, $125,000 to build an accessory dwelling unit. You know what an accessory dwelling unit is? It's also called a granny flat. We have a housing crisis nowadays, and we don't have enough houses. So what they're doing is changing the laws that you could put a house in your backyard, and you build a little house and you rent it out. Or if your mother-in-law wants to stay there, or something like that. And there's $125,000 grants. Now, these are local. You have to find out what's available where you live. It's going to be different in every city, every state. Okay, here's another one. $100,000 to start an ice cream business. How do you like that? Okay. And that's the Department of Agriculture, because they want to keep us in the dairy business. So if you have cows or want to keep cows, the way to keep cows in business is to sell ice cream, right? That's made from milk. So you get $100,000 for that. Or here, you want to start a business and don't know where to do it, check your airport. Your airport authorities are giving $50,000 to $5 million to start a restaurant in an airport. This is what they're doing. Like I say, it's different in every place, so you have to figure out what's available where you live. How about $200,000 grant to help buy your boss's business? People are, I guess people, baby boomers, that's what I am, and even younger than me, are quitting their work and they want to retire, okay? So the government wants to keep those businesses going because they have jobs. So they lend you money or give you money, a grant, so you can help buy that business and keep that business going, okay? So your boss is gonna retire. Hey, let me see if I can buy your business from you. And you go to your local economic development office and ask them about programs to help you buy a business, or you wanna buy somebody else's business or whatever. And you go to eda.gov and find out all the economic development offices in your state. There's probably 20, 30, 40 of them. And they're all there to give you money and help to buy or start a business, okay? See, that's, all this stuff. Don't forget, Elon Musk gets like $8 million a day from government programs. $8 million, it's for everybody income. So it's for all incomes. And also to change your life. So imagine what your own business would do. Can you imagine what if you went out and you got free training for a year and income to live on for a year to be able to get a job worth $100,000 and forever, no degree. See, the training programs are incredible in our country. So you want to go to careeronestop.org, make an appointment in your county with a local Career One Stop Center and say, hey, I need a better job. And what do they offer? And if they don't have anything that you're interested in, then there's two other places that do the same thing and even more. One is called your local community college. They have a lot of free training programs and shorter training, so you get a certificate in something. See, there's so many programs so many jobs that are dying for people. You get a job right away as soon as you get the training. And a lot of these training programs give you money to live on, do it. So you have to find out what's in your area to see what's that. And then you also go to Find Help. Remember I said to Find Help? Okay, this is the Find Help one, right? So you go to findhelp.org and you put in your zip code, and then you put in job training. And for more hand-holding, it's letsgohelp.com, okay? And that's what we do. I've been doing this for 50 years. I think there's no one else in the country that knows this stuff as well as I can. I'm sure there's sections of it that people know better and they spent their life studying something. But in a general sense, for the average person, I've written 100 books on this subject. I've had 2 New York Times bestsellers. I've sold 4 million or 5 million books. I don't even know anymore. In 50 years of doing this, I had 3, 4 companies that do this. Mentioned I was a New York Times bestseller. I've been on every talk show you could think of: Larry King, Letterman, Today Show, Tonight Show, Good Afternoon Show, any show you could think of. I was a syndicated columnist for the New York Times, Good Housekeeping Magazine, Chicago Tribune, all that stuff. I have 2 awards from the Library Association, Best Reference Books of the Year awards. I know this stuff, and I only have about 10 years left, and I'm really pissed at myself because people still don't know. See, the government should be doing this, and that's what bothers me, that the government doesn't do this. The government should be doing it. This is all government stuff, and they don't know how to market it, they don't have to do it, they don't have advertising money. There's a lot of reasons, but at 50 years of doing this, I can't wait any longer. And I said, I'm gonna create the single place in America where anybody could go for very little money, find out what government programs that they're eligible for just because they live in this country. This is a great country with so many programs to help people, but the people who live here don't know about it. So that doesn't, if you have a cure to cancer and it's sitting on the shelf and people are dying of cancer, that's what, to me, it's like. There's people, I see them every day, I hear, and you could see that, oh, I need money to do this. I know it's there. You have to be, to know that is there, then you have to be encouraged to take the effort it takes to get it. We're all lazy because marketing makes us lazy, because Google says, you go in there and they say, there's 5 things and you'll be a millionaire. That's fucking nuts. 5 things and the guy selling it becomes a millionaire, not you. And that's right. Maybe you could get little glimpses of something or whatever. But please, particularly if you have no money, don't go further in debt and get in financial trouble with any promises on Google, because there's too many people out there that are free and legitimate. You want to start a business or have an opportunity, there's people that will help you study that organization and find you a good one that doesn't cost anything. They'll do it for free. Go to this website. Well, actually, go to my website, but in addition to that, go to sba.gov/local-assistance, sba.gov/local-assistance. And when you go there, you'll see you'll get probably about half a dozen organizations that all they do are mentors to help you start a business, any kind of business. That's what they're there for, okay? So remember that. You have free help. And that's why if you go to Let's Go Help, on the left-hand side, is this the backwards one? Yeah, okay. On the left-hand side of Let's Go Help, we have something called Unlock My Goals. Unlock My Goals. And by the way, we just can put up a new thing called, what'd you do with my phone? No, it can't be too far away. It can't be too far away. No, it can't be. It can't be. No. Oh, here it is. Okay. Good. Okay. Let's Go Support. If you remember, or we screwed up with anything for you, go to letsgosupport.com. We have frequently asked questions. So you could go there, click on frequently asked questions, and find out how to do anything. In other words, on Let's Go Help, scroll through the most frequently asked questions. Okay, how do I create my Mighty Networks account? I paid. Now what do I do after I paid? Okay, how do I log into my Mighty Networks account? How do I create my Mighty Networks account? I forgot my password. How do I reset it? Why does the plan say free if I paid? How can I manage my subscription and cancel my account? That's right there. I deactivated my account in Mighty Network. Why am I still getting billed? Okay. Will I be billed after I cancel? So you've got all the things there. When will I be billed after the $1 trial? Okay. I've never received my receipt and confirmation. What should I do? See, we screw up and it's a language problem. Who knows? I can't find my account with you. What do I do? It's all right here. What's the best way to get help? Can I get help via email? Monthly giveaways. Okay, we have 4 monthly giveaways, remember, every year. 20,000 for anything in need, 10,000 for car repairs, 15,000 for rent and mortgage, and 30 free laptop computers. That's every month we have that. I won the giveaway. How do I play it? How soon after I win will I receive the prize? Do I have to pay to collect my prize? No. Not a member. Okay, if you're not a member, I'm not a paying member. Can I still get help? Yes, we have organizations and reports that you could get for free if you're not a member. Okay, so that's the question. Remember that. That's letsgosupport.com. So letsgosupport.com. If you're a member and need help with something, that we screwed up somewhere. So you want to do that. I want to do a Zoom. Yeah, okay, great. Oh, where are our members? Nobody's. There's just me and Charity. And Linda. What do you need, Linda? Tell me what you need. Okay. Or how about on YouTube? Maybe the people there. I want free weed. Well, okay. We don't do that. Great. Okay. I love your commercials. Yeah, no more commercial. Albert Einstein in 1901 to 20s hairstyle. Yeah, maybe so. I need to find a program to buy a house. Have 3 elderly family members to care for it. Okay, here's what you do, McGill. You want to go to hud.gov/counseling. So that's hud.gov/counseling. And go to that website, and there'll be a state-by-state website. You look in your state, and you make an appointment with a free HUD counselor. Okay, that's a good place to start. Now, there's a lot of other places, but remember, you don't want to go to Google and look for help. You want to go there and start talking to free counselors on doing that, to look for opportunities. And I have, I think, a free report, tiny URL. Let's go home, maybe? Yes, okay. Also, go to this website, looking for a home, and if you're not a member. If you're a member, then we have a tab on the left called Unlock My Goals, and one of them is buying a house. So if you're not there, then you could go to this website, which you could download a report that I put together that shows you 10 places in your neighborhood to get help buying a house, okay? And you have to call all 10. If you don't call all 10, you just really don't get anything. And you may get lucky on the first one, but no, it's like anything else, like looking for a job. You just go to one place and ask for a job. That's the same thing. We're looking for money. You just go to one place and ask for money, and they say no. You have to go, and that's why. Before, if you don't know any of this stuff, you go to Google and you get overwhelmed and you'll stop, because everyone there wants money for you. So then you'll assume that there's no money for you. There isn't in Google, so that's why you can't go there looking for help. So for a house, you go to letsgohelp.com and we'll help you, or you go to tiny, TINY, URL.com/letsgohome. Let's go home. Let's go home. So you want to go home? Yeah, let's go home. Come on, let's go. Let's go home. Okay? And they, because these organizations that have all this help, man, I mean, never heard of them. I haven't until I did this stuff. Here's one called neighborworks.org. See, there it's going to be .gov or .org that help you for free. Neighborworks.org. That's a network of nonprofit organizations that help people buy homes that can't afford them. There's another one, your state office of housing finance. Every state has a housing finance organization, okay? And there's an association of that, and that's called ncsha.org. National, I forget what the CSHA, Housing Finance or something. Now, so ncsha.org, ncsha.org. Go there, find out all the state associations, and contact your state. Habitat.org is another one, and that's where you get houses at half price. You have to volunteer to help pay for that, but it's a half price house. It's one. USDA for small towns. You want to live in a small town, there's great programs. Go rd.usda.gov. That's for small towns, okay? There's something called Community Development Financial Institutions. That's Community Development Financial Institutions, okay? And you want to, the CDFIs, they get subsidized money from the government to help you buy stuff. They're really a bank and a financial institution, but they get grants to help you buy it. So they're not there to just rip you off, okay? And that's it. Don't forget, most capitalism is to make money for the owners, okay? That's what it's all about. And the government and nonprofits are there to help you, okay? So when you go to Google, you're finding billions and billions of organizations that want to tell you what's best for them, okay? That's what Google is. You're just going to learn what's best for that person selling you something, because they're trained to sell you something that is best for them, not what's best for you. So they can't, because they work, that's where they get paid from, and that's where they get their money, is the organization they work with. So that's why it's all very biased. You have to find people to make a right decision. You have to talk to people that has your best interest in mind, not their best interest in mind. And that's why in the .gov and the .org, they have your interest best in mind, because they already got paid. Anything they do for you is not determine their salary. You know, they could hang up on you right after you say hello, or work for you for free for 2 weeks. They get the same money. See, not in Google. They don't get any money unless they get some of your money, okay? So they are gonna do whatever they think is necessary to get that money. So you're not getting a fair shake on what's best for you. That's why you have to start talking to people that are nonprofit organizations or government offices that are not there to sell you anything. And they know as much as the salesman, maybe some know more, some may less, who knows? But they're not biased like that, and they're not there. It's too dangerous in Zoom anymore, in Google. And the scammers are too dangerous and threatful there. There's too many scammers now in Google for you to get a fair shake on anything, because we spend more money on advertising in this country than we do in trying to figure out a cure for cancer. See, so all the smart people go where the money is. Who's going to pay me more? So I mean, if I'm getting paid more to figure out how to get you to click on my website or somebody else's website, I'll make a lot more money doing that than I would by being a scientist and trying to figure out a cure for cancer. So that's the downside of capitalism. But it's fun too. But it's working well. But you have to understand its limits, when to use it, when to don't, know when to hold them, know when to fold them, whatever that old country western song is. So if we could help you, it's letsgohelp.com. Okay, we got 15,000 members that are just there to help you find the government programs you're eligible for. I work on this every day. I do a handful of videos, 2-3 videos at least, every day to tell you about new things that are happening. There's always new things. There are grants for artists, $3,000 grants for artists, $100,000 jobs with 1 year of free training. $100,000 for jazz musicians that are over 62 years of age. Okay, $150,000 down payment for a house, $100,000 to develop a new product. You know, or how about the government will give you collateral to apply for a $100,000 business loan. So you don't have collateral, doesn't matter. Okay, $400,000 of missing wages. Maybe you worked for somebody that they took out, they didn't pay you overtime and they get caught doing that. And so the government goes out, investigates, and then they get all this back pay and they can't find you to get that. Okay, $100,000 for undeserved small businesses with low income neighborhoods. Okay, that's for small businesses with lousy credit in low income neighborhoods. Or $100,000 become an organic farmer. Borrow $1 million for free for 12 months. That's a government program. How about this? A $100,000 grant for flipping houses, and then $17,000 grant for applications for $1. Don't know what that is. Get $100,000 debt forgiven on your tax bill. Do you owe federal taxes? There's a program. It's called Offer in Kind. You could get that reduced to only 10% of what you owe. There's a wonderful lady who's a member who did that. She saved like $50,000 on it. That's it. So let us know if we can help you. It's lesgohelp.com. LESKO. I guess I should put that up again, right? Lesgohelp.com. And we're here. I'll be here for at least 10 more years to help you, and I hope this stuff, it seems it's getting traction. It's been successful. It's so successful that we give out $50,000 of grants every month to members. That's members could apply for 4 grants we have every month, and that's $50,000 up to $70,000 a month that we give back. That's what we do with our profits. We don't go buy yachts and stuff like that. We give it back to you. Okay, so remember, lesgohelp.com. $20. Hope to see you soon. Oh, let's see. Flipping houses for real estate. Yes, Gregory, okay. Got some members asking questions, finally. Okay, go over to Unlock My Goals and look for housing and buying a house. It's in there. That's who you have to start talking. Make an appointment with these people to find out what it is. And also look in starting a business, because that's starting a business. And you want to talk to the business mentors. So you in that first item in starting a business shows you how to find a mentor, and just make an appointment, sit down, tell them what to do, and so they can help you think through. What about a website-based blessings in Arizona? Don't know what you mean, but if you're looking for programs in Arizona, the first place to start is findhelp.org. And a way to get that, if you're looking for living expenses and you live in Arizona, go over on the left-hand side and see Unlock My Goals, and then you put bills and paying expenses, okay? And that's where you want to start that, okay? What about a website pay? Okay, Batter Virus, cute. Flipping houses, okay. I'm a software developer and I have a website. I have a website live. I have registered with LLC, which I have an EIN, EIU. I remember I am in Arizona. I don't know where to get a grant. Okay, and 1 minute. Okay, what you have to do, Batter, Batter, is make an appointment with the mentors, okay? And they're over on the tab under Unlock My Goals. There's one for starting a business. And you click on that first thing, it'll tell you who to call, and you make an appointment. That's the most important thing. And I didn't put that in there yet, but here's another thing that you could follow this. It's tinyurl.com/Lesgo local business. That will show you how to find about 40 or 50 more organizations where you live in Arizona that all they do is help people start businesses or grow businesses. So go that. But first, go over to Unlock My Goals and starting a business, okay? What is the amount of grants for flipping houses? It's different everywhere, Michael. You have to learn, what you do is go learn what programs there are for housing where you live, and then see how they can be used for what you want to do. There'll be housing for buying programs for buying homes, programs for fixing up homes, or whatever. You could look right now and go to findhelp.org, findhelp.org, and then put in your zip code, and then put in home repair. Also, with the experts that help you, the mentors, you could also look for investors to help you buy homes too, and do a business like that. There's some even crowdfunding sites for that. But first, sit down and talk to somebody. And don't just talk to one person and think you got all the help. No, you'd have to talk to a half a dozen. Another thing to do about that is go to Meetup. And put in your zip code and then real estate investing, and there'll be local groups. And I think that's the best thing to do. I mean, all this stuff and thrown at you, put it all aside and do the one thing is call the housing people. Sorry, not the housing people. You want to call the start a business people, the people, the mentors that are in that first item in starting a business. Make an appointment with them. You want to start this business and see what they have to say. Then what you do is you go to meetup.com and you find meetups in your area. These are groups of people. They don't charge you any money. They're just like a club. It's like home buyers or home flippers club. And they are all around the country. You could have a dozen where you live, depending on where you are. And make an appointment to see how other people are doing it. So you don't get caught in trying to find some real estate investment company or they'll just charge you a lot of money you don't need. Okay. Any other questions from members? Member. I remember you. I think it's the same document, just says twice for the same reason here. I think we're buying a car. We're working family. Did you get the car? Okay. Okay, guys. Let me go, lover. Talk to you soon. Thank you for being there and allowing us to help you, because that's what makes us feel good. So thank you.